What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Everton Extra Media Roundup. As always, Rhiad's with me. Rhiad, how are we?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. There's a lot to go through. Feeling a little bit more optimistic this week, to be honest. Obviously, end of the financial year. So if all goes well, we might see a few signings. I think we will. What's going on?
So, like you said, today is the last day of the financial year for Everton, and this is sort of considered a deadline day.
Yeah.
That's the quote the Athletic have put on it. It's a deadline day for Everton. Now I think we get a bit more freedom on our transfers. The first one we've got coming in. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, Matty. I'm mixed opinions. For me,
let's hear it.
Arnaud Danjuma, Everton in contention to sign him on loan. Obviously, we know Danjuma came to Finch Farm 31st of January, took his pictures, blah, 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 and eventually Frank Lampard left. But the quote is, there's no bad blood between Everton and Arnaud Danjuma. Everton completely understood why he wanted to leave, why he wanted to sack it off, because Frank Lampard leaving, on deadline day, and where Frank Lampard was a major factor, really, in Danjuma coming to Everton. So it makes sense why he didn't come to Everton. Obviously, if you yeah, it does. Yeah, I think if Lampard was a major factor, then and he's all of a sudden leaves, and you've got Spurs in wanting you, I understand it, but let's get your thoughts on that. For me personally, we don't really have much choice at the minute. So on loan, on a year loan, which I can't really see happening because the contract runs out next year, but on a loan, that would be fantastic. I know I'm going to get slander for that because me and Ty replies and Everton Extra is that he's a snake, but we haven't got much choice.
Well, so here's what I'd say to that, right? Any player who is so disappointed to the point where, because Frank Lampard isn't going to be the manager, doesn't come to a club, is first of all pretty messed up. Yeah. And secondly, any player who's far too disappointed because Sean Dyche is coming in over Frank Lampard is even worse of a decision maker. Listen, he was only coming to us on loan. He came to the training ground, took all his pictures, everything was sorted, and then he got himself off to Spurs. So for me, he's a rat.
Fair enough.
He's a rat. So,
fair enough.
And I'll tell you something else as well. I'll tell you something else. I'm not really all that sure about his quality, really. I haven't really seen much. I haven't seen any of them really at Tottenham. It's not like he's been playing and he's ready and raring to go. I think there's better options out there. And I certainly don't think it gives off the right impression for Everton running back to a player who already came to training ground, got all signed on, got ready, and then got himself off to then come back and go, oh, actually, because it's right for me, I don't mind coming to your club now. No.
Yeah.
No thanks, mate. No thanks, mate. I'll take models over quality or quantity any day of the week. Just because we want to get signings in doesn't mean go and get the wrong signings. Arnaud Danjuma, for me, he hasn't shown enough for Everton to be now bending over backwards, breaking our necks to sign him on loan again after he already did it. For me, that you made your own choice, you made your bed lying it. Don't be going after him now. Let's go after some better talent, proven talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Spot on. Everton continue the hunt for a striker. This time we've looked outside of Europe. Keisuke Goto, 6'3" striker, 18-year-old. And the Daily Mail report, and he could be brought in to the UK under the GB rule, which is young exceptional talents who, get an exemption basically.
For
they get given a visa or whatnot. Yeah, so it's good for me that we're looking at players like that. There's a lot of teams interested. I know West Ham and Sevilla are also interested, but it's good.
It is good, but Rhiad, is this the kid who scored 5 goals in 20 games?
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's like great and that. I know. Well, you know, 18 years old, that's not a bad return. Not sure if he got any assists, but where's he playing? The Japanese league?
Yeah, J2 league.
So you know, let's branch out of England, but let's not go and sign fodder from the Japanese second league who scored 5 goals in 20 games in that league. Come on now.
No, I mean,
you know, let's not be stupid. Listen. For me, right? It's fine. It's great. Look, maybe he's going to be a big talent. You know, we can't be one to shun off potential talent. You know, look at the players David Moyes brought in over the time he was there, who when he came in didn't look too great. Stephen Pienaar, unbelievable player. Tim Cahill, Mikel Arteta. I mean, the world knows about Mikel Arteta now. But you know, for me, you know, you said one crucial thing here, and I think as an Evertonian, this is the most important thing and probably the best thing to come out of the club in the last 5 years, because I think that's how long it's been since Lukaku left. Everton are finally getting linked with strikers, right? Yeah. That's huge, you know. But we need to go after the right strikers. For me, I've said this before, I'll say it again, we should be putting all our time and effort into Gyökeres over this League 2, 5 goals in 20 games, right. Donny from Japan.
Matty, I'm so sorry to break it to you, but Gyökeres on the verge of joining Sporting. But
well.
In other news, Joel PIROE from Swansea. So we've been told by a Swansea outlet, whatever you want to call it, that Joel PIROE could have started tentative talks with Everton. Any deal, I'd imagine, would involve Sims going the other way.
Yeah. Probably makes sense as well, that Rhiad.
Yeah, Swansea, we know, are heavily interested in Sims, and most fans have accepted that he's joined already. But
yeah,
I can't really see Swansea paying over the 4 million asking price. But Everton want more than 4 million, but I can't see them splashing out 4 million.
We're not going to get it. We're not going to get it. Listen, if anyone in that boardroom thinks we're going to get more than 4 million for Ella Sims, who's an unproven player, who's come on once, played 60 minutes last season or 100 minutes or whatever it was, who's come on once, scored a goal against Chelsea, great goal. I've said this before. I don't really want to see him leave, but clearly someone on the coaching team or Deitch or someone from the scouting team, clearly someone has said he's not it for Everton. We've got Lewis Dobbin and Tom Cannon. These two are better than him. So, look, we're just going to have to get over it. Any fans who watch us will know I didn't want Ella Sims to go. However, Joel PIROE, what are we saying on him?
Well, earlier today I spoke to a Swansea fan page at Only Swans. They said he's unbelievable. I think he scored 44 goals in the past 2 seasons. He's great, but they don't know.
Have he?
Yeah. Wow. I think so. Yeah. But they're not too sure whether he's able to take the step up to the Prem. But that's the gamble we've got to take. We don't know whether Gyökeres is ready for the Prem, but we were going all out for him. But
listen, you know what? We had a lot of signing for a lot of teams. They don't really truly know if the player's ready for the Prem. So these days it's just a gamble you have to take. Look, I'll tell you one thing. I'd much rather 44 goals than 5 goals. Let me tell you that. So if it's a choice, maybe we're going to go and get both of them. What I've really liked is we've been linked up. All right, look, if Gyökeres goes the other way, fine, it's a shame. But do you know what? What if we go back for Gyökeres in 2 years or a year when he's done it in the Portuguese league, a bit more of a step up, and then we know he'll be able to do it in the Prem? Maybe that's a better decision. But for me, the most important thing is we're just getting linked with strikers. We're getting linked with 4 or 5 different strikers, which tells me that, look, let's read between the lines here as Evertonians. I think there's 2 or 3 outgoings confirmed behind the scenes. I think we know some players are going to go, whether that be Damari Gray, Ella Sims, those type of people. Don't forget though, Rhiad, we've now saved the money of Tom Davis wages. He won't have been on peanuts, Tom Davis, homegrown lad, been here more than 10 years in his career, been here as a senior more than 5-6 years. He started when he was 17, 18 against City, scored that great goal. He won't be on less than 50 grand a week, Tom Davis, I'll tell you that now. Yerry Mina was one of, if not the highest paid player, I believe. We've saved his wages. Connor Cody, we won't be paying whatever percentage of those wages we were paying. I think Holgate's probably going to go. So, I think there's going to be a few outgoings, which means there's going to be some incomings. Dyche won't be starting that season without incomings. I'm just glad to see we're getting linked with a few different players. Not just your bloody, your Mark Nobles and your Rodrigos, them sort of players. 30 odd in the Premier League. Let's branch out. Let's go and find some young talent ourselves. But I will say one thing, Rhiad. I've probably contradicted myself here, but that young Japanese lad you spoke about, that's a Brighton signing all over that. That's a Brighton signing. So, look at them people Brighton have signed. Who's that winger, that Mitoma, is it? Oh, he's unbelievable. No one knew of him a few years ago. No one knew of him.
Yeah. Sent him out on loan, came back, and he was fantastic.
That's what I mean.
Another one, this is a bit of a mad story, really, for the people watching. Matty and Rhiad was one we spoke about in the group chat the other day.
Yeah. Crazy, this. Crazy.
And we said, give it 3 or 4 days, Everton will be linked to him.
We've got the message if no one believes us. We've got the message.
He's recommended to us. And we said, give it 3 or 4 days and we'll be linked to him. This morning it came out, Matty and Rhiad has said, basically, degraded Everton.
He has, little prick.
I've got no interest in Everton. Well, he said, I've got no interest in the people that are interested in me at the minute, the likes of Everton. I mean, for a man who's playing in the Portuguese league, I think he needs to be humbled a little bit. But
yeah, he does. Yeah, you're right.
Whatever, mate. He's 30. He's played in the Qatari league, Iranian league, and the Portuguese league. So I think you need to take the step to the Prem now, mate. But
great pedigree. He's Slimani all over again for Leicester, and look how he turned out.
That's it, mate. That's it. A few more we've had we've heard this from the bubble. Lewis Warrington. Everton are open to letting Lewis Warrington go on a permanent this summer, which is
for how much?
It wouldn't be more than 2 million, I don't think. But for
me, then it's what's the point then for me?
It's really disheartening because we've let Isaac Price go, and I think we spoke about Isaac Price, me and you, and we really rated them. And Lewis Warrington, for me, I think Lewis Warrington could be playing in Everton's midfield next season. I think he's great.
Look, for me, Rhiad, right? Honestly, I don't understand this with academy players. For me, in my opinion, there's absolutely no point. It's going to bring very little value to Everton, right? £2 million right now. I know people are saying everything helps for Everton now, but it doesn't, right? Because £2 million, you're not going to go and replace that player with a walk-in first-team player for £2 million. You're not, right? So it brings way more value for me to have a young lad who's homegrown through the academy come and play in the team or at least on the bench. Then don't go and raise £2 million for nothing. Makes no sense. He won't be on much money. He won't be flooding the wage bill. What's the point in letting him go for £2 million? That's not going. It's not like £2 million is going to tip the scale in a transfer for us that we need to make happen. It's not. So I don't really understand that. It's sad because Everton recently have seemed to let so many high potential players go. Carlo, we know this. It's an exclusive Everton extra fact. We know for a fact that when Carlo Ancelotti left Everton, he left a big section of notes for Marcel Brands on the board, and he told everyone to play Nathan Broadhead, keep him on and play him. He got sold for nothing. He got sold for absolutely nothing. That kid is going to be another Luke Garbutt now in the League One, League Two Championship for the rest of his career. He'll never develop. Carlo Ancelotti was saying that about a player. We didn't even listen. So
just to clarify on that, Carlo Ancelotti before he left he instructed Marcel Brands to give Nathan Broadhead a new contract.
Yeah.
Ancelotti rated Broadhead so highly, and so did other Everton staff. And it leads you to wonder where would Everton be now if we would have took these players under the wing. Warrington would have to have one good season in the Prem to be sold for like you said 25 million. All he has to do is Everton have to develop him, and we've lacked that a lot. We've seen it. Matthew Pennington, people like that. But
Pennington, another one, came on and scored on his debut in the Merseyside derby in Anfield. By the way, never got played again. So what I was going to say was, Rhiad, right, is I would much rather bring homegrown players through who really, really care, know what it means to wear the badge, than go and sell these players for 1, 2, 3 million quid, and then go and bring someone in who doesn't understand and doesn't get it and won't work as hard. And by the way, believe this or not, I promise you now, Tom Davies did not fail Everton. Everton failed Tom Davies. And anyone who thinks that's anything other than what I've just said, you need to have a long, hard think and look at how he was treated, the development, the team management. Tom Davies was failed by Everton. He wasn't developed properly. He wasn't developed right. He wasn't developed correctly. He wasn't looked after. You know, for me, there's problems all over. The Everton business as a club. But there's a few big problems, and one of those big problems is how we bring youth through. Because I'll tell you something, Everton aren't bringing youth through. We're not. Yeah. Anthony Gordon's the only one in how many years? There hasn't been any other really good players that are getting played. There hasn't been no one. But what I mean by that is, and everyone will say, well, obviously someone who makes the decisions who's got better experience than me, obviously they don't think they're good enough. Guys, come on. We're a Premier League team. And not only that, we have a better academy than most. There's not many teams that have a better academy than Everton. Your Liverpools, your Cities, your Uniteds, your Chelseas, your Arsenals, the top 6, they've got a better academy. Then you could argue some of the little team, Brighton, but Brighton sign a lot of their players and bring them through. Yeah. Don't grow them at home. Everton have a very, very high standard, state-of-the-art academy facility. There's good players in that academy. Good players in that academy. But you've got to give them game time for them to play. You know, and Everton fans would have no problem watching local lads come through and give their all for the shirt. They wouldn't have to be Zinedine Zidane first week. They wouldn't. Yeah.
I mean, looking at Anthony Gordon when he first came on West Ham away, 2020 or 2021, I'm not too sure.
2020, yeah.
Something like that. He didn't look great, did he? But
no, not at all. But he was fast. He had potential. He's not great though. He's awful, and he's also a rat. So don't worry about him.
It's a shame. Like I said, it's a massive shame because I really rate Lewis Warrington. I know you do as well. I know you like Lewis, Isaac Price, but obviously we've got Lewis Dobbin coming through. Just came back off loan. I know Lewis Warrington.
The thing that worries me, Rhiad, I don't know what you think about this, right? But have you noticed that over the last 5 years, right, Everton always had that one player who came through, right? We had the Rooney, we had the Barkley, we had the Gordon who's just gone, somehow got 40 million for him, whatever. But we've always had a few at a time, a few good, very decent prospects, right?
Yeah.
But really, we're not. No one's really knocking on that door now, playing in the first team. So for me, it's what seems to happen with Everton is we have great prospects, right? We send them out on loan, they come back. Everyone gets excited from them coming back on loan, and nothing ever happens. They don't get played, and then they get sold. So for
that's
me,
the Everton way, mate. I'm sorry, that's the Everton way.
It is. But Rhiad, for me, we've been excited about Lewis Dobbin for 3 years now. We've been watching academy videos, looking at all his record. We've been really excited about Lewis Dobbin. I'm really, really worried. That he's come back off loan. Everyone's getting excited, and we're never going to see him. I'm proper worried about it. He's a serious player.
Yeah, he's just. I mean, he had a hit and miss season for Derby, but we've always rated Lewis Dobbin, along with many other players in our academy. Obviously, Reece Welch, who spent most of the back end of last season on the bench for Everton.
Reece Welch,
there's a lot of players in and around Everton's first team training now who need to go out on loan, and Everton need to make the most of this now before, we said it. We watched Thierry Small when he was 15, 16 coming through, and we knew Thierry Small was serious. He was unbelievable, but unfortunately, Thierry Small went to Southampton, and he's just got the same treatment he would have got at Everton. He's not getting put in the first team. He's so it's a shame. It's a shame for these academy players because Lewis Warrington's a serious player, along with Lewis Dobbin and the likes of them. So it's a massive shame. But Matty, as always, thank you very much for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having us. Always good to be here. Cheers, guys.
See you later.